faced a number of different versions of this Memphis team so far this season. What from those experiences can you draw on for today when they've got some of their main guys, but not Morant?
I mean, they were similar here. The first game we played them without Morant, and Morant definitely changes them. Obviously, his talent speaks for itself, but stylistically, they tend to be pretty heavy towards him. Transition, pick and roll game. So they're a little bit different in terms of how they initiate. The bones of their team is pretty much the same. They got a system that they play that's effective, that's similar regardless of who's in and out. But it'll be a challenge. They're a hungry team right now. They're competing, jostling for position. We've beaten them every time this season, so they're going to come in here with a high level of urgency that we have to match if we want to win the game.
We talked about Chet as an off-ball mover. One of the things that is standing out is kind of those flex cuts where it comes across right in front of the rim. What are you noticing about the way that he's executing that and the passing is able to come in over the top? It seems like the ball's able to stay high.
Yeah, I mean that was good for us last game, and he's 7'1", so the closer you are to the basket at 7'1", the more effective you can be. And so he's obviously dynamic because he can play away from the basket as well. But, he needs to play in all parts of the 35 feet in order to be effective on offense. And getting him closer to the rim is obviously something that is a priority for us. So he did a good job last game. He had a good blend and just continues to get better. We continue to kind of uncover things we can do with him at the 4.
Shea on the court has fared very well.
Yep.
Just your thoughts on just like what is going into that, and why do you think it's been so effective?
Well, it's been good with Shea on the court as well,
Right.
and so I think I hear your question, but I think part of it is just like the bones of that is you've got two, high level rim protectors that help your rebounding, so you can help win the possession battle that way. You're not really sacrificing offense, to get them on the court. And so that's going to bear out pretty well anywhere. We've moved it around in terms of where in the game we've put it because it's going to be a part of our stuff, almost every night and against any opponent. We got to develop it. It's right now about understanding when it's best utilized and continue to develop it, continue to let it grow and learn about it. But it's been highly effective and certainly highly effective in those minutes as well.
Mark, we're getting close to a year since Topic got injured. I'm just wondering how he's just kind of been attacking rehab recently.
Yeah, he's on track with everything he's supposed to be doing, and he's on the timeline that he should be on. He's done a really impressive job of keeping his head down. I mean, that's a long time, as a basketball player. He's gone a long time without playing games, and that's tough, especially when you're a rookie. You want to establish yourself in the NBA, and you want to test yourself. And he probably wants to know, what translates, what doesn't. He wants to start learning, and he can't when he's not on the court. And so, despite that, he's been very consistent with his work, and he's shown a great level of professionalism and maturity and work ethic. Through this time, he's very, very steady, both in his approach and mentally. And so he's been very impressive in that way. And, as he continues to uptick what he can do, that's exciting. But he's a really good player that's made a very, very strong first impression with his approach to his rehab. Nothing yet. Yeah.
Alex has been around enough to get a good understanding of who he is now at age 30. What's different about the guy that all of his
way more is the same than different. He's always just had unbelievable competitive instincts. He's always in the team. He's never playing his numbers. He's never playing. He's just perpetually in the team. And he's got unbelievable competitive presence. Like he's very, very aware on the court. He's never distracted, out there on the floor. He just watch him on a dead ball tonight. Choose one dead ball and just watch him. And he's going to be looking at the other coach, looking at me, looking at the scoreboard, talking to his teammates. And he's always on with that. And he's always been like that. So he's obviously he's learned the pictures. He anticipates things way better now, because of his experience level. But foundation of his character and who he is as a player has been the same, as long as I've seen him.
You talk about bringing guys in like Hartenstein. I think people maybe thought of him, putting him in as who he was then, but you talk about him as just like a guy that still can grow here. For a guy like Caruso, who you say has seen all the pictures, like where does he grow at this stage? What does that look like for him?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. There's how they grow individually in like a developmental vacuum, and that can be, for different guys. Hartenstein has a runway. He's 26. He's not 35. He's a young guy still, and has a young game still. I think there's a lot more there that he can nurture over time. But then there's their development inside of the team that they're on, and that takes time as well. And that's where AC, he's a pretty actualized defensive player for sure. Offensively, I think he's quietly done a really good job with his decision making this year. That's always been something that can be a little bit up and down with him, and his decisions have been outstanding with the ball, whether it's shoot, pass, drive, all that. He's really stirred the drink offensively lately for us with his passing. But his real development is developing inside of this team with these teammates, chemistry with individual guys, communication with the team. I mean, you can always grow in that as a team, and I think that's where there's still room for opportunity with both of those guys, because they're as seamless of a fit as they are. They're still relatively new here.
One of the bigger topics this season around Hartenstein has been his passing and sort of how that's helped you guys out. Where have you seen the most value from him as a playmaker adding to this roster, and what's sort of the value of just having a playmaker who's at that size and position?
I think it's any great passer. To me, they're going to make some plays that are like impressive, and he threads the needle on some plays that it's really impressive at his size, and that's a good mark of a guy's capability. But the best guys hit singles. They're like really good A to B players, and that's where the value really comes. Is like the ones that aren't assists. And his ability to reset possessions in particular is very valuable, where you try to create an initial advantage, the defense stops you for one reason or another, and now he's an outlet. I've said that about Jay Will. They're like check down guys in football. It's like he's not open, he will be. And you can throw to those guys, and coming back to basketball, they can reset the possession and they can get you to the next action and create the next advantage within the same possession. It's rare to have that. Most teams, when you watch them, when the possession stalls, everything stops, and it usually just is like call up, pick and roll, or ISO. And you're just at the mercy of the effectiveness of the player with the ball, which sometimes is good enough. But if you want to be a team that, plays on the move like we do, having guys like that you could throw the ball to, that are available, that can make a great decision, and he's not getting assists for most of those possessions, but it's highly valuable.
Anybody else?
Yep, thanks.